Hocus Pocus 2. Sequel. They're back. The witches are back. Sanderson sisters. They look great. They look amazing for it being like 20 years. Every year back in the day, we didn't have cable. We waited for Hocus Pocus to come on, like ABC or something at the time. It had commercial breaks. It was something we all looked forward to in the early 2000s. Hocus Pocus 2 was coming on. Or no, I should say Hocus Pocus is coming on. Grab your snacks. Grab your snacks. Hocus Pocus. So yeah, the Sanderson sisters are back. The trailer, the teaser trailer looks good. They're leaning into the Charmed, Sabrina, kind of the Craft vibes. With they're introducing new witches, teenagers, which is an original angle for Hocus Pocus. Yet it's kind of redundant in 2022. I forgot what year it was. Because, like I said, we've had the Craft. I think there was a Craft remake that bombed terribly. We've had Sabrina was really good until people started. I think the Church of Satan, or one of those churches in real life, they were complaining about how Lucifer and the devil were being portrayed in the Sabrina series. So I think after season 2, they really toned down the devil worship aspect of the show, and the overall grittiness and tone of the series kind of faded away. And it's sad because Sabrina was a good show. Sabrina was a great show. The cinematography was sick. I watched Sabrina, the original, on TV back in the day, along with Hocus Pocus. I'm hyped for this new movie. I have my I have my doubts about it. Yeah, I have my doubts. Oh yeah, this is getting geeked ASMR. We're drinking Dr. Pepper, 'cause this is America. Yeah, so we got the OG cast. The Sanderson sisters are all back. My beef, there's always going to be beef. I'm going to start a segment, the daily beef. What's my beef with Hocus Pocus? My beef with Hocus Pocus, they're not bringing back Jay and Ice. Jay and Ice, the bullies of the movie. Why am I mad about that? They're just the bullies, they're not even the main characters. Listen, the reason why Hocus Pocus was lit was because it was in the 90s. It was set in the 90s. The fashion was 90s. And the bullies were 90s. These dudes were like the reason I liked watching the movie. Which is kind of bad because, because I like Jay and Silent Bob. I like Cheech and Chong. I like anything with like a duo, like comedians, I'm down for. So you have this dynamic, Jay and Ice. Larry Bagby and Tobias Jelinek. These guys were holding it down for all these bullies in that era. And they're not coming back. They're not going to come back. They're going in a different direction. They announced that they aren't going to come back. They wanted to. Homeboy, I think it was Larry, he said, yeah, my agent put in for me for an audition, and they weren't going for it. It's like, what do you mean you had to audition to be in Hocus Pocus 2, bro? You're one of the original cast members. You shouldn't have to audition. So right there is a red flag. And I think Tobias is active on TikTok. He also said he's not going to be involved. They had both pitched like their ideas of like what would happen if they were to come back. I think they said, "Oh, we should just come back as like bullies, like parents, but like we're gonna bully the kids at the school because our kids are getting bullied." I think that's what they said. One of them said they should be the principal, and they know how to deal with bullies because he was one. Like that's like some real heart to heart stuff right there. So, yeah, and Allison's not coming back. I don't know the little girl's name. She's not coming back. Nobody's coming back except the Sanderson sisters. So there's two ways you can look at this. You can be hyped, just hyped in general, because we're getting a Hocus Pocus sequel, and all of them are back. Or you're like me, where you're like, this whole thing was Hocus Pocus was the ensemble, and that's what made that movie like a cult classic. It wasn't just the witches. The witches had a huge part of that movie, like the success, like for sure. But that was never the drawing point for me to come back to watch it. It was the other cast members, because they were the ones that were going through all the stuff to set all the witchery in motion, the witchcraft in motion, playing where they shouldn't be playing. But yes, so Hocus Pocus 2 is coming out. I'm hyped for it. I'm gonna watch it. I just don't think they're gonna capture that aesthetic, the '90s vibes, because it's not the '90s anymore. They're gonna try to just make it modern. They really need to lean into the gothic witchcraft for me to really be invested in this movie. I have a feeling they're gonna have some more musical numbers, which I'm not a fan of. I like musicals, but not really. It just depends on the musical. Just it has to make sense. And if it's just corny, it's gonna be corny. So yeah, Hocus Pocus 2. What do you guys think about Hocus Pocus 2? The Sanderson sisters coming back. Let me know.